Picture this. You're hiking through the woods, birds chirping, sun shining, when suddenly you hear a rustle. Your brain doesn't analyze. It doesn't wonder, is that a squirrel, a breeze, an innocent bunny nibbling leaves? Nope. It slams the panic button and screams, "Run, you fool!"
This delightful overreaction is called the fight or flight response, and evolution loves it.
Back in caveman times, when the difference between surviving the day and being something else's lunch was literally a coin toss, running first and asking questions later was smart.
That shadow might be a saber-toothed tiger, or it might be a tree branch. Either way, running meant you didn't have to find out.
Fast forward to modern times, you hear a weird noise in the hallway or your boss says, "Can we talk?" And your heart rate spikes like you're being hunted.
Thing is, you're not. You're in an office, or at Starbucks, or your own kitchen. There's no tiger. There's just your brain, going full medieval mode because it can't tell the difference between emotional threats and actual death anymore.
Out in the wild, though, acting without thinking can get you actually killed. Run from a grizzly? Congrats, you just turned into lunch. Sprint off a cliff trying to escape a bee? Solid move, action hero.
Basically, your instincts were designed for a world where hesitation equals death. The problem? That wiring didn't get the memo that we now have laws, hospitals, and pepper spray. So let's say your body doesn't do the run screaming thing. Lucky you, it's chosen option B, full-on paralysis.
You know the feeling. You're suddenly in danger, or your brain thinks you are, and instead of reacting like a rational adult, you freeze like a squirrel in headlights.
This is called tonic immobility, and it's a built-in defense mechanism that goes something like, if I act dead, maybe it won't eat me.
Which is a great plan if you're a possum.
But for a human? In the wild? Let's just say your chances of survival don't increase when you go completely motionless while, say, a bear sniffs your face. This is your nervous system saying, "I give up," in the least helpful way imaginable. It gets worse. Your body thinks it's being helpful. It numbs pain, slows your heart rate, disassociates, which is basically nature's version of putting on noise-canceling headphones during a plane crash. Even worse, this freeze instinct kicks in during things like car crashes or assaults. People later blame themselves for not fighting back, when in reality, their body hit a psychological dead switch. Not their fault, just a glitch in the wetware.
The irony? Your brain pulls this move to save you, and in the wild, it might just delay the inevitable for a few extra chews.
Your mouth is a chaos goblin. It was designed in a time when humans had to lick things to learn. Berry, lick it. Plant, lick it. Shiny weird rock? Definitely lick that. Your sense of taste evolved as a kind of chemical warning system. Bitter equals poison, sweet equals energy, salty equals electrolytes. It mostly works, except when it doesn't. Because the part of your brain that decides, put this in your mouth, isn't super bright. It's just eager. This is why toddlers eat sand, and glue, and pennies. It's instinct. And yes, adults have it too. Ever been weirdly tempted to taste snow that looked sketchy? Or wondered what soap really tastes like? That's your ancient survival hardware firing up like, maybe this mystery sludge is food. Basically, your body still runs a taste test protocol built for scavengers and experimental forest gremlins. Basically, your body still runs a taste test protocol built for scavengers and experimental forest gremlins. The modern world is a buffet of bad ideas, and your instincts are like, yum, let's try all of it. Let's talk about intuition, aka the brain's vibe check department. It's that little whisper that says, this feels off, or that guy gives me serial killer energy. Sometimes it's dead on. Other times it's just dumb. See, your gut instincts aren't logic. They're patterns your brain thinks it recognizes, often based on vibes, mood, and wild guesses. In the wild, this could be helpful. Spotting a lion hiding in the grass? Excellent. Avoiding that dude in your tribe who collects bones? Smart move. But the human brain is a pattern-hungry drama queen.
It sees faces in clouds, demons in shadows, threats in random sounds. This is called pareidolia, and it's basically your brain throwing horror movie filters over boring reality. So you're out in the forest. You feel like something's watching you. Could be a predator, or it could be your brain recycling a scene from the Blair Witch Project. You freeze, panic, and start making dumb decisions based on fear of a thing that may not exist. Here's the kicker. Those gut feelings can also be full of biases. You avoid helpful strangers. You misjudge threats. You walk toward the safe path that's actually more dangerous. In survival mode, bad intuition equals bad ending. Your gut might mean well, but it's also fueled by trauma, nightmares, and half-remembered documentaries. Basically, it's like taking advice from a sleep-deprived raccoon. You know what your body's emergency plan is for danger? Sweat. Gallons of it. Literal waterfalls from your armpits. Sweating is your body's way of saying, something bad is about to happen, and I'd like to be very moist for it. It's part of your sympathetic nervous system kicking in. Heart racing, pupils dilating, skin leaking like a broken faucet. Back in the day, this was kind of smart. A slippery, sweaty human is harder to grab or bite. If a saber-toothed cat is going for your neck, better to be coated in human soup, right? But fast forward to now, sweating is not a survival flex. It's a social disaster. Job interview, sweat. First date, sweat. Giving a speech, you are now a human waterfall. Your body still thinks this is the jungle. It doesn't realize you're just standing under LED lights with a PowerPoint slide behind you. And in actual wild situations, oversweating can backfire. You lose water, you dehydrate, you pass out. In a survival scenario, that's not high performance, that's early elimination. In a survival scenario, that's not high performance, that's early elimination. So when you're terrified, you don't just sweat, you stink. Your body broadcasts your fear like a biological Wi-Fi signal. Basically, your nervous system tries to help by turning you into a nervous sponge with pit stains and the aroma of anxiety stew. Your body has this charming little default setting called starvation paranoia. It doesn't matter that you just had lunch, or that you're a 10-minute walk from a Taco Bell. If your body thinks food might be scarce, even temporarily, it goes full raccoon mode. Eat now, store fat, we might never see calories again. This was helpful when you lived in the woods and meals were infrequent and sometimes involved spears. But now it means you'll eat an entire bag of chips just because you might be up late, or carbo load for a Zoom meeting. In a survival situation, this instinct can be disastrous. People overeat their limited rations, they gorge on unfamiliar berries, they drink from that one sketchy puddle because what if I never find water again? Even worse, the instinct doesn't just push you to eat. It messes with your brain's reward system. It releases dopamine to hype you up for food, even when it's a terrible idea. You ever eaten canned meat that smelled like foot and sadness? Your survival brain loved it because calories equals good, flavor equals irrelevant. Basically, your body's like, we might starve in 2 days, so let's make sure we're bloated, dehydrated, and full of squirrel meat. Solid strategy. Have you ever been exhausted, but your brain is like, actually, let's stay up and think about imaginary danger scenarios? Yeah, that's hypervigilance, and it is both ancient and deeply annoying. See, in the wild, sleeping too hard could get you killed, so your brain evolves to sleep with one eye open. Not literally. Unless you're a dolphin, which, congrats. But mentally, you're wired to be just alert enough to hear a twig snap, or a predator breathe, or someone trying to steal your snacks. This is why anxiety ruins sleep. Your body isn't dumb. It just thinks you're camping near wolves 24/7. So it boosts cortisol, suppresses melatonin, and basically ruins your nap with prehistoric nightmares and phantom sounds. In real survival settings, this instinct goes berserk. People get jumpy, paranoid, hallucinate. Their bodies refuse to rest even when they desperately need it. And lack of sleep? That's a death spiral. You stop making good decisions, you get clumsy, you cry at trees. You start thinking eating raw moss is a solid plan.
Ironically, your body thinks it's protecting you. In reality, it's setting you up for a face-plant into a bush while sleep-deprived and hallucinating that it's a warm bed.
So yeah, thanks, brain. You turned be alert into permanent haunted house mode. Let's talk about pain. That delightful screaming alarm system your body uses to say, "Hey, something's wrong," which sounds useful until you realize how nonspecific and dramatic that alarm actually is. See, pain evolved to keep you from doing dumb stuff, like walking on a broken leg, or touching lava, or continuing to fight a bear after your arm has been chewed off. It's your body's all-caps warning. Stop that or die. The problem? It's a little theatrical. Your nervous system doesn't just notify you. It throws a full-on tantrum. Paper cut? Feels like you've been sliced by Excalibur. Stub toe? Better lie down and reevaluate your life. Toothache? You might as well write your will. Now, in survival situations, pain is tricky. Sure, it tells you something's wrong, but your body doesn't know how to prioritize. It will scream equally loud whether it's a twisted ankle or a scraped elbow. And when adrenaline wears off, oh boy, suddenly you feel everything. And that pain might make you stop moving, stop thinking, stop doing the things that keep you alive. Even worse, your brain can actually amplify pain when you're scared. That's called pain catastrophizing. And yes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Your brain grabs a little discomfort and throws a Broadway-level performance about it. Great when you're avoiding danger. Not great when you're trying to climb out of a ravine and your body's just shouting, "I can't! My knee!" So yeah, pain can save your life. But it can also ruin your chances of surviving a situation if your brain decides to go full drama queen over a bee sting. Let's talk about drowning. Not actually drowning, because yikes, but the way your body responds to the idea of drowning. You have an instinct called the mammalian diving reflex, and it's one of those weird evolutionary hand-me-downs that worked way better when we were like otters or seals. Basically, when your face hits cold water, your heart rate drops, your blood shifts to protect your organs, and your body tries to conserve oxygen. Sounds useful, right? Except your brain also panics the moment you can't breathe, even for a second. The second you think you're suffocating, your amygdala throws a fit. Full-blown panic mode. Your limbs flail, your judgment vanishes. And suddenly, your calm survival instinct becomes a thrashing nightmare that makes everything worse. Here's the real kicker. More drownings happen because of panic than actual exhaustion. People freak out, inhale water, and lose control of perfectly floatable situations. Meanwhile, your diving reflex is trying to help, but it's also like, should I slow your heart? Or should we just die dramatically? Also, salt water burns your eyes. Waves disorient you. Wet clothes weigh you down. So when instinct says move and your body's like, I can't, that's evolution's mixed signals at work. Your survival software says save oxygen, slow down, don't panic. But your brain, it's just screaming, we're gonna die in a kiddie pool. Let's end with a deeply annoying little instinct, the death grip. When humans panic, like really panic, we have this adorable tendency to grip onto things and never let go. It's called involuntary grasp reflex, and it's a leftover survival response from when baby monkeys had to cling to mama monkeys or fall to their doom. Which is cute for monkeys. Less cute when you're stuck in a capsized kayak holding the paddle like your life depends on it, when really you should be letting go and swimming. Or hanging from a ledge, too afraid to move, because your hands decided that death is preferable to opening your fingers. This reflex can sabotage climbers, divers, pilots, and anyone whose survival might depend on knowing when to let go. Worse, it's not a thinking reflex, it's automatic. The brain says, we're dying, and the hands say, then I'm taking this stick with me.
It also shows up in things like car accidents. People lock onto the steering wheel in a crash. Not helpful, just pure chaos mode. Basically, your body decided that grip harder was a universal solution to danger, as if clinching your way through disaster will somehow save you. It won't. But hey, at least you died holding on to something. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.